I have great pleasure in presenting to you another timeless treasure.
It's your favourite time of year, Christmas! Merry Xmas, everyone! Okay, if it's not Christmas when you're watching this, don't worry, just pretend for now. Okay, imagine hundreds and hundreds of years ago, old Scrooge, mean old Scrooge, from the Christmas Carol, weighing out, checking the weights of his gold coins. He might have used something similar to this. This was used to check the weights of gold guineas, this coin weight. Was issued in 1775. I know what you're going to say. But that predates Charles Dickens, Scrooge. Well, we can imagine an earlier, a meaner and tighter version of Scrooge, perhaps his father or grandfather. Okay, this particular coin weight was issued in 1775 to the new standard. Now, that new standard was Acts of Parliament that was passed requiring all coin weights to be tested and, if found correct, to be stamped with a particular mark which corresponded with the company that issued the coin weights. And on this one it's got the classic coffee pot, which corresponds with the founders company of the City of London, the Imperial Crown for the Royal Mint, which is quite nice. We know this was used to check the weights of whole guineas, because don't forget, guineas also came in third guineas, half guineas I think, and even quarter guineas. But this was used to measure a whole guinea, and we know that because it actually specifies the weight and which corresponds with that particular type of coin. The D and the G, you're probably going to say, what the heck does that stand for? And not so long ago I didn't know either. I thought G stood for grams. But of course they didn't have the metric system in those days, and they didn't really have the imperial system either. The G stands for grains, and the D stands for pennyweights. Now, this particular D, I suppose that kind of partially corresponds with the imperial system, because the D was used to denote pennies. D derives from the ancient Roman word denarius, which was the equivalent of pennies back in those times. So the D corresponds with pennyweights, and there were apparently 24 grains in a pennyweight, and the G over on the right hand side is the grain quantity. So I thought that was, you'd find that quite interesting. A nice 18th century coin weight issued during George III's time. Okay, thanks for watching. If you'd like to find out more about this particular item or other such items, please feel free to pop by my website at creamofcards.com.
I'm afraid we've run out of time.
But just before you go, please leave some stars below, and if you found it handy or even mildly entertaining, give it a high five. And if you'd like to see more amazing video clips like this,
subscribe to the channel
by clicking on the yellow icon up in the sky.